Epoxy projects are so much fun, but they can also be incredibly frustrating if you don't know what you're doing. I've made dozens of epoxy projects, and I've had epoxy projects that have turned out amazingly. I've also had projects that have gone horribly wrong and have been very frustrating, wasting me tons of time and money. In this video, I've compiled all of my epoxy woodworking knowledge into one place. I'm gonna walk you through everything that you need to know before you take on your first or next epoxy project. So with no further ado, let's get started. The first step that you have to follow if you're going to create awesome epoxy projects is you have to purchase the correct type of epoxy. You've got to be very careful though that you don't use an epoxy that's designed for one application for the wrong application. Let me give you an example. Right here I have an epoxy kit. This is a 2-part epoxy, and this is for deep casting epoxy. So think a charcuterie board, a river coffee table, something like that. This is for pores up to 3 inches thick. I do not want to use this kind of epoxy if I want to coat a bar top or a tabletop with epoxy. For that, I need to use tabletop epoxy. It's also a 2-part kit. The reason why this is designed for much thinner pores, like 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, it's self-leveling. So please don't try to use deep pore epoxy for a tabletop or vice versa. Make sure you buy the right type of epoxy. Most of the epoxies that I use in my shop are a 2-part epoxy. So you're getting the resin and then you're getting the hardener. And so when you order your epoxy, after you've made sure you're getting the right type, you're usually gonna get 2 different bottles and they're marked what they are, resin and hardener. Once you know that you have the right type of epoxy, next you want to set up your mold. Now you have 2 options for this. You can either build a mold or buy a mold. I, for a long time, have loved Crafted Elements molds. They make high quality stuff. They're reusable. They're flexible silicone. So once your epoxy project is cured, you can just pop it right out of this mold and then use this mold for your next project. The other option is to build a mold. Typically, I would recommend only building a mold if it's for a large project. Think conference room table, dining room table. And the general process for this is taking melamine, assembling your mold to the dimensions that you want, caulking up all the joints, putting down tape. It takes time, it takes money. Either way, you just got to figure out which one you want to do, which one is best for your needs. Now, once you have your mold built or bought, you can't just set it up anywhere in your shop. You need to make sure that you put your mold on a flat and level surface. If your surface is not flat, then all the epoxy is going to settle at the lowest point. And if your surface is not level, your epoxy is going to flow downhill, leaving your project thicker on one side and thinner on the other side. You don't want that kind of situation. After that, you want to make sure that you spray down your mold with mold release. Typically, the process that I use when I'm spraying down my molds is I'll spray down the mold, the entire mold, bottom and edges, let it sit for 5 minutes, then I spray the mold again. What this is doing is kind of putting a protective film over your mold, and for the Crafted Elements molds, it's going to make sure that your mold doesn't get damaged and that the project comes out of the mold super easily once your epoxy is cured. Please don't skip this step. All of these supplies are linked down in the description, but this is not expensive, and this can really preserve the life of your molds for a long time. So don't skip this step. When you go to put your lumber, the wood, in the mold, first make sure that you debark your wood. I know that the bark on certain types of wood, like black walnut and cherry, it looks so cool. That bark is always going to fall off sooner or later. And so go ahead and debark it. Otherwise, you might have a project that falls apart a year or 2 down the line. You don't want that to happen, especially if you're selling your epoxy projects. You want to make sure that your customers can trust that the projects that you're selling them are high quality and will last a good amount of time. The last tip that I've got to tell you, this has burned me in the past, please don't neglect this, is that when you put your boards in the mold, you want to make sure that they are weighted down. The rule of thumb is you want the weight of the board or anything on top of the board, weighting it down, to be greater than the weight of the epoxy. Otherwise, the epoxy will displace that board. It'll get in between the mold and the board, force your project or the board up, and just flood the bottom, and that's not good. What I do, this little hack, when I go to buy weights, I usually just get like 3 to 5 pound weights. I buy as many as I can, and I look at thrift stores because they're usually a pretty good price, you know, for weights that have been used. It's okay. You're just putting them on the board for the epoxy, and then once it's cured, you pull the weights off. Okay, so you've bought the right type of epoxy. You've got your mold set up, ready for a great epoxy project. Now it's time to mix up the epoxy. I would recommend, if you're especially new to epoxy, I would recommend getting some of these Total Boat mixing cups. On the back, you have different scales that will give you the exact right ratio for any kind of epoxy that you're using. The way that you use these is very simple. Let's say you're using a 2-to-1 epoxy mix. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take part A and you're gonna fill it up to the first scale until you hit number 1. And then you take part B and fill until you hit number 1 on the second scale. But you always just go up to 1, up to 1, up to 2, up to 2, just depending on how much epoxy you need. Just make sure you're doing it on the right ratio, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, or 5 to 1. If you don't nail the epoxy ratio, if you put too much hardener in, your epoxy can crack. If you don't put enough hardener in, your epoxy won't harden and it'll stay gummy, which is obviously a mess. So just make sure to take your time, get your measurements right. When it comes to epoxy, there's no such thing as close enough. If you want to add color, now is the time to do that. Now, when it comes to pigments, you've got a couple of different options. You could go with powdered pigment, or you could go with liquid alcohol pigment. Both of these are available on Total Boat's website, and I'll link to them down in the description. I prefer the powder pigment over the liquid pigment. A couple of reasons for this. One, liquid pigment, you need to make sure that before you use it, you shake it up really, really well. Otherwise, your color won't be consistent. And it's not a big deal. It's just kind of one more thing that could go wrong in the process. The second reason, really the main reason why I prefer powder pigments, is I just told you it's so important to absolutely nail your ratio when it comes to mixing up epoxy. If you're introducing another liquid, it can throw off your mix. So that's why I like the powdered pigment. This is my preference. Obviously, you know, liquid pigments are great. I'm going to be testing out these in a video coming up soon. So if you're interested in seeing my thoughts on liquid pigments, subscribe to the channel and you'll see more stuff coming out about that soon. So you've got your perfect ratio, you've added your color. Now it's time to mix the epoxy, and this is very important. If your epoxy is not well mixed, it's not going to cure well. What I like to use personally, this is just my setup. I have a little 12-volt drill from Skill, and I put a mixer on top of this drill, and I can just use this to mix up the epoxy really great and make sure that my epoxy, the hardener, the resin, and the color is all perfectly mixed together. Okay, I know that was a lot of prep work, but all of that stuff is so important for the most critical time of the project, and that is the epoxy pour. When you pour your epoxy, you're gonna get it in your mold. If you especially haven't done the vac pot method to get all of your bubbles out of your epoxy, now is the time when you want to pop your epoxy bubbles. For this, what I use right now is I use this little propane heat torch, and I just run it very quickly, keeping my torch moving quickly over the epoxy, and you'll see the bubbles kind of popping up out of the epoxy, and you'll see your epoxy turn clear as glass. If you're using these Crafted Elements molds, that they're heat resistant. And so what's nice about that is, one, the heat generated by the chemical reaction of the epoxy curing is not gonna hurt the mold, but also the heat from your heat gun is not gonna hurt the mold at all. So don't really worry about that. A critical mistake that so many people make, or just they don't even know to think about it when they're letting their epoxy cure, is you want to make sure the temperature in your shop or the room where you're doing your epoxy project stays consistent. At a minimum, I would recommend keeping your temperature at 60 degrees Fahrenheit or above. I think the ideal temperature is between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's colder than this, your epoxy is not going to cure. If you're in a environment that's not temperature controlled and you're getting fluctuations in the temperature, your epoxy is not going to cure correctly. One more note about your environment is you want to make sure that you are in a dust-free environment. If you're pouring this in your shop, don't do anything in your shop while the epoxy is curing that will stir up dust. Even if you think it's just a little bit of dust, it will find its way into your epoxy, and that will of course affect your finish. So don't stir up dust while your epoxy is curing. Really quickly, I'll just walk you through a couple of kind of post-pour tips that I have. Make sure that your epoxy has fully cured before you take it out of the mold. I had one project that I thought was fully cured. I took it out of the mold and I stood it up in my shop vertically, only to find that it hadn't fully cured and the epoxy very slowly ran down onto my garage floor, made an absolute mess, and was also very frustrating. So be sure your epoxy's cured. It'll tell you the cure time on the bottle of the epoxy. It's different for each type of epoxy, but I generally give like 5 to 7 days minimum before I take the project out of the mold. When it comes to planing, what I do with my planer, I have the DeWalt DW735 planer. It's a 2-speed planer. So when I'm running epoxy projects through, I run my planer on the higher speed, which is gonna give me a more fine finish coming out of my planer. Then when I'm sanding my epoxy, I sand it just like normal, usually go up to about 320 or 400 grit, and I'm always wearing a respirator for the planing process and for the sanding process. Epoxy, when it's cured, it's almost like this polymer or plastic. And so then when you sand it, you're throwing plastic particles up into the air. So even if you have dust collection hooked up, I mean, you should, but even with that, you wanna have the added layer of protection of putting on a really good respirator. And this is gonna protect your body from inhaling the cured epoxy, which you definitely don't want to do. So please don't overlook this. Get a good respirator and protect yourself while you're working with epoxy. Like I said, epoxy projects, they are addictive. There's millions of combinations of projects that you can make. And once you get started, you'll be like, wow, this is a ton of fun. So let me know down in the comments what project you're wanting to take on. A couple of last minute things for you. First, if this video was helpful and you would like to give back in any way, if you decide to take on a project, which I would encourage you to do, using the links down in the description, it helps both of us. It helps me just support what I do here on the channel. I make a little bit of money from some of these links, and so I really appreciate that if this video has been helpful, if you use those links. And then secondly, too, with any of the Total Boat products, when you use my links down in the description, it will actually save you some money. So saving money is always fun. So check out the links down there if you're interested in making some of these projects. If you're interested in knowing what projects I've made that sell well, epoxy projects that sell well, check out this video right here, or you can also check out this video here. I'll talk about more epoxy stuff here. I hope to see you in one of these 2 videos.